Hello once again, and welcome to another edition of the SaskAgToday.com Roundtable. I'm your host, Doug Falconer, and I'm joined by 620 CKRM AgriNews Director Brian Young and the Chief Agricultural Editor for SaskAgToday.com, Kevin Hursh. Gentlemen, the news over the past week, of course, seeding in Saskatchewan, 98% complete, and in Manitoba, 92% complete. So seeding, for all intents and purposes, almost wrapped up, and I guess a lot of producers now will be turning towards spraying. Is that pretty much the idea right now, Kevin?
I think that's sums it up exactly, depending upon how early you're out seeding and what your crop mix and what your weed pressure is. But I think there's lots of in-crop spraying going on, and seeding, has gone on for a long time because of the weather delays. So there's crops at various stages, and I think the with Canada's Farm Show coming up this week, there's a lot of people that'll be looking at the sky and wondering about, is it too windy to spray, or are there showers or rain in the forecast? How quickly do I need to get this stuff sprayed? So if actually the weather is a little bit inclement, I bet it'll do wonders to boost attendance at the show.
Ryan, has there been much seeding or spraying activity in the Regina area still?
Not from what I noticed here. Although I could imagine there could be a lot of producers spraying, but from what I do notice, the crops continue to emerge. I know in the report it kind of talked about crop development for the most part. They're the cereal crops. They're kind of the furthest behind for this time of year due to the continued rainfall that we've been getting over the last few weeks and the cooler temperatures. So that's kind of resulted in crop development falling behind for some. Other crops, they have been on schedule for this time of year, so kind of a mixed bag there. But in terms of the Regina area here, it's just been another week of on again, off again rain.
Yeah, here in the Yorkton area, we've had some rain again, and of course on Wednesday we actually had some hail, and there was a tornado warning up for the Churchbridge area that ended up moving into Manitoba, and they think there might have been some tornadoes in southwestern Manitoba. But that brings up another point, Kevin, hail insurance. We've been hearing a lot about that. I'm sure a lot of producers are weighing their options when it comes to that.
Yeah, certainly no shortage of radio ads from the various companies promoting hail insurance. And I would suspect, of course, I'm in an area that's been dry for a number of years, and crops are looking a lot better right now than they have in recent years. So I think there'll be quite an uptick in people taking hail insurance, or maybe insuring to higher per acre levels. And we've seen some pretty wild weather. The Southwest didn't get much rain in the last week, just it's pretty light. But I know in the crop report there was areas that had 3+ inches of rain just in the last week. So when you get those sort of weather systems already, as you mentioned, some tornado activity, and there's moisture in the air and there's turbulence, I think that in a lot of people's minds, the probability of damaging hailstorms is quite a bit higher than it might be some other years. So I would suspect that the hail insurance companies will do a brisk business this year.
And of course, as I mentioned, we did have some hail here. It's probably early enough in the season that it shouldn't cause too much damage.
No, my rule of thumb is even anything before 1st of July is minimal. Sometimes you might get some hail coverage or hail insurance coverage if it's right towards the end of June and it's an early seeded crop. But generally speaking, crops are not going to, except in rare occasions, be seriously damaged permanently in this early in the season.
Speaking of crops, canola looked like it was unchanged on Monday, went up a few dollars, I think, on Tuesday, and then we saw a free fall here today. What's your take on that?
Again, surprising. Canola's had a bad couple of weeks, and the losses were fairly minor early in the week, but the Friday drop in futures prices in the $20 per ton range, that's a significant drop in price. It really once you back it off to what producers are paid at terminal, it's a tremendous drop in canola prices right now. So, and also new crop prices have dropped in tandem. You know, we tend to be quoting the July futures price, but if you look at the November futures price, the market isn't doing it any favors either. So it's not really encouraging producers to lock in anything for fall delivery.
Ryan, did you have any comment? Were you able to get any, I guess, comments regarding canola this week at all?
Unfortunately, not from Adam McCalla with Ventum Financial. He was too busy this week to do the weekly interview with myself. But I have been observing some grain prices from various Viterra terminals, and what I've been following with the canola prices for this week. It's the same story where it's gone down quite a bit. It was down a little bit to start the week, then it went up a bit, and then it just crashed basically today. It closed as of this afternoon, Friday, at 566.82 a metric ton. So just another bad week for canola. And my question is, how much lower can it go?
Yeah, that's you do the conversion, and that that Viterra price at that terminal is under $13 a bushel, which been quite a while since we've been under $13.
And of course, another big event happened here in Yorkton during the week. On Tuesday afternoon, it was announced that Leon's Manufacturing and Ram Industries had gone into receivership, a longtime company that began in Bankend, Saskatchewan, not far here from Yorkton here, back in 1952. Well-known farm implement attachments and all that sort of thing. I know, for instance, on our farm, we have a Leon blade, a bulldozer for a tractor. I think everybody probably has at least one piece of Leon equipment on their farm. And here it went into receivership on Tuesday afternoon. About 80 people out of work, from what I've heard. And then a recent report suggested they were about $16.6 million in debt when this all happened. So I guess, why would you think that would happen at this time, Kevin?
You know, there has been the last couple of years reports of farmers waiting a long time for equipment they had ordered and paid for. There's been a series of disconcerting reports about Leon's service and ability to supply promised product the last couple of years. Now, I didn't hear anything leading up to the receivership, but when a receivership was announced, I didn't really find it as a surprise. And it's really too bad to see a long-standing company like that come to such a poor conclusion.
I know when we saw here in Yorkton, for instance, Morris Industries, which had its plant here but had its head office in Saskatoon, it was bought out by Right Way. And is that what you anticipate, something like that might happen? Do you think anyone might be interested in purchasing the Leon or Ram naming rights and that sort of thing?
That's quite possible. You know, that's what the receiver will, I suspect, be doing, is looking at, can this be sold as an ongoing business to somebody, but with a debt of that size makes you wonder, or do they actually have to just piecemeal sell the assets to try to recover the most money possible? That will be interesting. But you're right, there have been cases, and the Morris name under Right Way, and they've combined now into a different name parent company. It doesn't always mean the end of the brand or the end of the company when something like this happens. So it'll be, again, we'll have to stay tuned to see just how this all unfolds.
Ryan, you're from the area. Did you hear anything about this at all yourself either?
Yeah, I kind of caught wind of it. I believe it was the Monday or Tuesday when it happened. So I kind of did a little bit of digging into that and talking with some people that I know who either currently work there or previously worked there. And I kind of heard the same thing Kevin was kind of talking about earlier, where, it's just shady business practices, toxic work environment. That was another rumor I heard, but those are just kind of rumors. That's pretty much what they are. This is what some other people have said. So it's kind of a sad story overall. A long time implement business, agribusiness in Yorkton. You literally can't miss it. It's on York Road in Yorkton on the north end, or on the north end of town. So Yeah, just kind of a sad story all around, and we'll see what the next steps are moving forward here.
Well, looking forward to next week. Canada's Farm Show will be in Regina Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Ryan, you'll be playing host for us there.
That's right. We'll be there for the whole 3 days of Canada's Farm Show at Real District here in Regina. The launch pad will be there as well. That'll be a front and center thing at the show. A lot of product launches will be made, presentations will be there throughout the 3 days. One of those actually being a coffee side chat with former Premier Brad Wall. He's going to be talking there. There's going to be a product launch. I believe it's from Degelman Industries, if my memory serves me well. I've heard a few advertisements on the radio about it, kind of previewing that, and a whole lot more. There's going to be hundreds of exhibitors there, lots of various things, lots of different people to talk to, different producers to talk to as well. We'll likely see some familiar faces there as well, and some people that we've seen in previous years and at previous shows. So there's going to be quite a handful to cover and a lot to, yeah, just basically cover. It's going to be a handful this week, but it'll be fun.
I
I'll
think
be
there's
down
a
there.
I think there's if my memory serves, there's also a product launch for the aforementioned Morris Industries, a new air seeder cart. So that'll be interesting as well. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to make it. You guys going to have to look at how my spraying is shaping up, whether I need to move into fungicide application on chickpeas, what the wind and rain outlook is. I hope to be there for some of it to kick around with you guys and see all the things there, but it's sort of going to have to be a game time decision.
All right, and of course, Ryan and I will be simulcasting our farm shows for SaskAg Today, coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you'll be able to hear both of us wall to wall in our Regina station and our Yorkton station. So stay tuned for that. And with that note, that'll do it for this week's edition of the SaskAgToday.com Roundtable. On behalf of Chief Agricultural Editor Kevin Hursh and 620 CKRM AgriNews Director Ryan Young, I'm GX94 Yorkton Agriculture Director Doug Falconer saying so long until next time.